Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are ya? All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show.
Oh my goodness! We're in the Scooby-Doo intro! This is so cool!
Hey cartoon fans, let's talk about crossovers. Scooby-Doo crossovers. Sure, Scooby-Doo has crossed over with many cartoons, but what about ones that aren't in the Scooby-Doo universe? Now let me get something straight in this ranking. First off, it's gonna be from worst to best, and right now I'm gonna mention some cartoons that have Scooby-Doo and the gang as sort of side characters and such that just have a brief appearance. Like the girls from Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School being in OKKO, or the gang wrapping up a mystery in Jellystone. But they aren't the real Scooby Gang, as they just unmask themselves as different Jellystone characters or just random objects. Even as a bonus, this is actually the most recent appearance of the gang in any cartoon, as this episode aired in 2024. Or, I know this isn't a cartoon, but the Looney Tunes Back in Action, where the live-action Matthew Lillard was arguing with Casey Kasem's Shaggy being animated in Scooby, also there growling. Like, it was very funny. Next, we have an insanely strange show that is Mad, based off of the comics of the same name. In this appearance, we see Shaggy and the strangely drawn gang in a crossover of Downtown Abbey in the Mad universe. And I have no clue what's happening, so let's just move on to a lesser known appearance in Duck Dodgers, a really fun Looney Tunes show with the Surf the Stars episode, where the gang are randomly running from their classic villains, which I don't think has anything to do with the actual episode. And before we get into my last example, I am probably missing a ton of Scooby-Doo appearances just because of how big Scooby-Doo is. So when I'm talking about these short little side appearances in other cartoons, not the main ones in our ranking, just know I'm not talking about all of them. There's probably more. And finally, a show that loves crossovers, and it's also an annoyingly fun meta time with Teen Titans Go. Love it or hate it, Teen Titans Go has so many crossovers, and Scooby-Doo has a few mixed in too. With the episode Intro, where the cartoon nerd Control Freak takes over the intros of multiple classic cartoons to try to stop Teen Titans Go from ever airing again. It's as crazy as it sounds, and they go into many fun shows including Scooby-Doo. I really think it's cool that they reuse animations, but come on Warner Bros, you literally own these theme songs. Why is the new Scooby-Doo movie's intro song playing over Scooby-Doo Where Are You's intro? And why is Batman the Animated Series the only correct soundtrack? Speaking of which, they do go into Batman the Animated Series, which is a really great cartoon that I hope to get to someday.
Beat us, Batman! What an honor! I am your biggest fan!
In the next episode, we see Scooby and the gang in some backgrounds in Warner Bros. 100th anniversary, which is an insane episode with so many properties from DC, Hanna-Barbera, and Cartoon Network, which I won't really get into a lot because you have to check it out.
Jabberjaw, get out of the fountain!
And with these mentions well mentioned, let's get into these full-length Scooby-Doo crossovers in other cartoons. At the bottom with...
We've got to figure a way to track him down, Dog Wonder.
Oh, wonderful.
Scooby?
Now before I get into the first Scooby crossover, this is just my ranking of how much I enjoyed each episode and how well the crossover works. This is my opinion, of course, and if you don't agree, that's fine. Now let's learn more about this episode. Back in the late 1970s, Hanna-Barbera released the TV show Dynomutt Dog Wonder, and with this, they knew no one would watch it unless they had one of their bigger properties attached to it. And that's how the Scooby-Doo Dynomutt Hour TV block came to be. It had the Scooby-Doo show and the Dynomutt show airing back to back, which was their way to keep people watching. But also in some early episodes of Dynomutt Dog Wonder, Scooby and the gang made an appearance to help their favorite action hero Blue Falcon in Dynomutt Dog Wonder.
Dynomutt! He's a go-go dog person.
That's me, Dog Wonder!
The Dynomutt series lasted for 2 seasons, with the Scooby Gang only appearing in 3 episodes of the first season. Speaking of Blue Falcon, in the Scooby-Doo universe, we will see Blue Falcon and Dynomutt in future Scooby shows and movies, which shows the lasting impact of this pretty fun, forgotten cartoon. In What Now, Lowbrow, an infamous caveman criminal known as Lowbrow wants to learn how to be the king of crime, so him and his henchmen rob a bookstore in Big City to learn how. But because of Lowbrow's unbelievably low IQ, he just looks at random pictures in the books and does whatever they say to rob places, and Blue Falcon and the Scooby Gang take him down by making a fake showing for a fake brain thing that will make you smarter. And Lowbrow steals it, which leads to his capture after a bunch of wacky action hijinks. Now, this episode is the worst of these crossovers due to really just how basic and boring it is, with Blue Falcon failing multiple times and having to be dependent on the gang to capture the criminal, even though he's just a stupid caveman who could have easily been captured so many times. This episode is a drag to get through and isn't very enjoyable, and it's not really a good crossover, but at least the gang did something.
Zoinks, is it ugly?
Uh-oh, it's Blue Falcon and Dynomutt.
This is the last time the Scooby Gang meet Blue Falcon and Dynomutt in this show, as the 10th episode, and for some reason they didn't make any more, even though there's way more episodes and a whole other season of Dynomutt Dog Wonder. Anyways, in The Wizard of Ooze, Swamp Rat and Mudmouth pump half of Bogmire's swamp into Big City, which is crazy by itself, but they also captured a gang and our heroes in a death trap, and probably killed many citizens with all the alligators in the city. And also, the city is filled with water somehow. Like, wouldn't it just flow like naturally across other places? But no, it didn't. This is probably the most cartoonish example of an action cartoon I have ever seen. It is crazy. As our hero tries to save some people, Swamp Rat is robbing Big City, so Blue Falcon has to come up with an idea for Scooby and Shaggy to disguise themselves as Blue Falcon and Dynomutt, and somehow it works, as Swamp Rat falls right into Blue Falcon's trap, but they quickly escape and end up getting arrested. And our heroes drain the city and the mayor thanks them, but they didn't fully drain that city.
Yay! Shoot! Hey, what are you doing? Oh, amazing!
And our episode ends with the gang getting invited to the Falcon Lair to celebrate. Yeah, Blue Falcon is just a carbon copy of Batman, especially the classic Batman series where Batman called everything the Bat this, the Bat that. We have the Falcon Lair, we have the Falcon credit card, stuff like that. And the gang should be used to this because they have met Batman before. And I do wonder who they like more, Batman or Blue Falcon. And that's The Wizard of Ooze. It's fine, it's very crazy and all over the place, and it's an action-packed cartoon, but Scooby's appearance adds only a little bit, and it's not that much. Moving on.
TV's most beloved mystery solvers, the Scooby Gang!
From this point on, I'd say these crossovers are enjoyable to watch, but the Scooby Gang aren't super involved. In this case, we have Teen Titans Go again, as they play a game of Family Feud under the control of, well, Control Freak, who has the power to cancel whatever show loses. And the whole game of Family Feud is in the Scooby Gang's favor, as Control Freak is tired of the Teen Titans taking up all the airtimes. Yeah, this one is super meta, which is still funny, but it's too much. After the gang get most of the answers right for the question why the Scooby Gang are better than the Teen Titans, Scooby messes up, which lets the Teen Titans answer.
Fred over there, and even Scooby-Doo. Me? Don't worry, there's no way our voices come from some guy named Frank.
After a lot of back and forth, the Titans lose, of course, and we get our classic Scooby chase throughout the Family Feud set, with Control Freak trying to cancel them with his cancel gun, until he trips and the gang just place a net over him and call it a day, as they want to be sent back to their universe, after realizing that the mystery is that Control Freak just wanted them in Teen Titans Go for a cheap ratings ploy. But before they go, Robin says that there's still an unmasking left to do, as under Fred's ascot is one of the episode's villains, Baron Von Billfold. This episode is hilariously stupid, and I would love to put it higher, but in terms of rewatchability, or just presence of the gang in this crossover, it doesn't do much. In addition, I wasn't even gonna add this one to the ranking due to the short appearance of the gang in this full episode, but I liked it enough, and it's my video, so I'll do whatever I want. Moving on!
You see this? Someone mispainted Batman's neck. I hate that.
This one is a nostalgic journey, as the annoying Batmite shows us some of Batman's most memorable cases, including when the Caped Crusader met Scooby-Doo. This episode has so many references to the original Scooby-Doo meets Batman from the new Scooby-Doo movies, with Joker and Penguin's antics, and a great job reanimating the classic costumes and scenes from the classic episodes. And Weird Al is here to help the gang after they get captured by Joker, with Scooby slowly threatening their lives by eating Scooby snacks. But everything works out, and somehow somehow Batmite makes a dynamic duo in Shaggy and Scooby beat up Joker in the end of the episode. Batmite just has the power to control anything. Overall, this is a very fun and very nostalgic time, but Batmite really ruins it. But other than that, it's good. Check it out.
We thought Dog Wonder was the ghost of Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde isn't a ghost.
In the first ever, at least according to my research, Scooby-Doo crossover in a different cartoon, we have the first episode of Dynomutt Dog Wonder, Everyone Hide. This episode has our hero, Blue Falcon, up against his most menacing foe, Mr. Hyde, which the gang thought was the return of the ghost of Mr. Hyde, but Blue Falcon tells him it's a different guy. This Mr. Hyde is just a normal businessman, but when he uses Hyde gas, him and his dog and whoever near him turns into hideous hides to rob and steal jewelry from big city. Shaggy, Scooby, and Blue Falcon look for an antidote just when Hyde shows up to attempt to turn them and a scientist to hides, which he does succeed and steals the formula. Eventually, all this leads to his capture as Blue Falcon and Dynomutt fake being hides after the whole city becomes hides basically, and it's up to Blue Falcon and the Scooby Gang to get the antidote to help Big City, and the mayor thanks Scooby and the gang and Blue Falcon for saving the city. Everyone Hide is a classic feeling Scooby-Doo episode with way higher stakes and an actual monster this time, so they can actually help. Overall, I would recommend watching this one out of any of the Dynomutt Dog Wonder episodes. It's a great start to a cartoon, but it goes downhill from here into a very generic action cartoon. But this one is enjoyable nonetheless. Moving on.
Got 2 lives in my hands here. 2 souls dependent on me giving the performance of my life tomorrow in that courtroom. Sketch? Hell yeah, let's get Stinko.
Here we go, top 3 Scooby-Doo crossovers. In the 3rd episode of the Adult Swim comedy cartoon Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, we see Shaggy and Scooby in the Mystery Machine as they are going to meet up with the gang to investigate a green monster when the police pull them over for suspicious activity. One thing I like to mention before we continue is that if you've never seen Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, you're in for a crazy time, as this low-quality animated show takes the classic Hanna-Barbera characters and takes them to court and accuses them of mature crimes with Harvey Birdman on their side to get them out of these charges. From the Jetsons to the Flintstones to even Birdman killing Dynomutt. I highly recommend watching the first season of this series, but please don't take it seriously. It's made by Adult Swim.
Guys, meet your new attorney, Mr. Birdman.
Now, which one of you is Shaggy?
Back to the episode. Using more animation from Scooby-Doo Where Are You, the cops walk over to the car where we cut to a live action scene of the police dash cam facing the Mystery Machine, with the cops talking to Shaggy and Scooby. This is very creative and the cops aren't messing around, as he doesn't believe anything that they're saying, and he asks them to step out of the van because he assumes they're under the influence, but instead they punch it and drive off with the cops shooting at the Mystery Machine. That escalated fast. After our amazing Harvey Birdman intro, we see the man himself, voiced perfectly by Gary Cole, who later voices Fred's dad in Mystery Inc., which I found to be really cool. Birdman is in his office doing very important business.
Was big and yellow and legal looking.
When a new hire comes in, it's Peanut, a strange mini Birdman who acts questionable at best, but he does help out throughout the series.
There's something about you. It's a good something, though. Definitely a good something. Thank you, Harvey.
After a phone call about Shaggy and Scooby, we see them in jail with some of their colorful foes attacking them.
Here, let me just do it. It's just, okay, stop pulling. It's gonna bind.
Peanut gets the job and Birdman shows him the ropes as Fred Jones comes by for help.
Fred Jones? Fred Jones! Now you see why banging doesn't pay. I'll take the case.
Harvey assumes that this mystery-solving gang is actually a gang, like a gang, which is the running gag of this episode. Fred explains everything that happened, and after taking the case, they go to the jail to interview the criminals, as Harvey takes it as a classic case of profiling, which just means that they were falsely arrested because the officer thought they were.
Hi.
Later, Harvey goes to a cafe to talk to one of his lawyer rivals for help, and they talk for a bit about useless info.
Where'd you go to school? Choate.
Ow, 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 ow.
After he doesn't accept the deal, we cut to the trial where Harvey does an amazing job to prove that Shaggy and Scooby weren't smoking the doobie, but his rival does a medieval reenactment of what happened in the beginning of the episode, which makes it look a lot worse for the boys. And he uses the power of taking things out of context to help him win, like using suspicious pictures and clips, and him trying to make them look goofy and paranoid.
Goofy. Paranoid. Nothing further.
After the first trial, the gang and Birdman go hang out at a bar to discuss what just happened. Then Harvey says a cheap gag about product placement, then we get a full 40-second ad for Tab Soda, with Harvey Birdman in a Tab bottle dancing on a beach in live action no less, in a scene that really caught me off guard first watch. Back to the court, Velma says if they captured a monster, then the police will believe them and drop the charges, which guess what? It actually happens, and we all live happily ever higher.
Puppy!
And that's the episode. I really enjoyed the comedic timing of this episode, but after thinking long and hard, it's not very concrete or serious at all. Plus, technically, it's not canon in Scooby-Doo, as in this would take place in Space Ghost Coast to Coast, another Adult Swim show. But if it was fully up to me, and it kinda is, I would put it at number 2. But it's also about enjoyability in the presence of the gang. And I think our next episode does that a little more, due to this one being too goofy for words, but that's what I think puts it this high. Pun definitely intended. And if you guys want me to, I'll definitely make a full video discussion on the Harvey Birdman show, because it's great.
Stuck on roadside. Aunt Shepadiza missing? Running out of hair gel. Whoa, mama?
This one is easily my most watched Scooby-Doo crossover in a different cartoon. We have Bravo Dooby-Doo, which is one of the most popular for being heavily marketed in the early 2000s as a part of Kellogg's promotion, where you can get a disc in your box of cereal with different Cartoon Network cartoons, and it doubled as a CD-ROM with games and bonus features exclusive to your PC. This promotion isn't very well known, but it's so cool. And the first of this 5-disc promotion was Jonny Bravo, and since Scooby-Doo was a huge part of this promotion being on every disc, and also in every intro of each DVD, it had him and the gang talking about whatever cartoon was on the disc, even though they only appear in this Jonny Bravo episode, which aired in 1997. And surprisingly, it's not the only time Scooby appears in this show. In some Christmas episode of Jonny Bravo, Scooby shows up with Johnny in a real short scene. And with that short description on how you might know this one, let's get into it. Johnny is on his way to his aunt's place when his car breaks down, but the Scooby Gang are here to help him after he tells them that his aunt lives in a spooky house.
Spooky house? Jinkies!
Johnny of course hits on Daphne, but it seems like Velma's actually into him. That's not supposed to happen, as in Jonny Bravo, most women hate him. Anyways, once they arrive to the haunted house, they just walk in to look for Johnny's aunt, who doesn't seem to be there, just for a voice to scream, "Get out!" But why would the gang listen to that? We get a short montage of them searching for Johnny's aunt, when Shaggy and Scooby find the ghostly gardener, and they run in terror into Johnny and Velma, where they momentarily switch glasses.
Jinkies! Everything's dark! I've gone blind!
And so the gang split up to look for clues when Daphne says she's going with Velma, but Fred's not gonna let that one slide.
Daphne?
The boys and Johnny head to the kitchen while Velma finds a clue. When Shaggy opens the pantry door though, it's, you guessed it, the ghostly gardener. And here comes our first classic Scooby-Doo chase in a different cartoon, with music that sounds straight out of the 70s to really set the tone of this episode.
Come on, baby, kick off your shoes, wave your hands from side to side. Come on, baby, don't go into the apple bin. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll be mummified.
This song is actually really catchy. Johnny and the gang and the ghost all fall down the stairs, with Johnny jumping onto a chandelier, and then it falls when he goes to help Daphne just to catch the ghostly gardener. And after multiple unmaskings of earlier villains, Don Knotts, and even Joe Barbera.
Who's that?
And with one more pull, it's actually Johnny's aunt, who wanted to scare them away because she just doesn't like Johnny. And so the gang actually help our villain, and they tie up Johnny on a tree, ending the episode. But someone does come to help Jonny Bravo eventually.
Hey, pal, hop in. I'll give you a lift.
And that's the strange but fun Bravo Dooby-Doo. This one is a great time, and I still remember the chase music. And this one personally is very nostalgic to me, and it just feels basic in a good way. Like it's a short and sweet love letter to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And we almost have all the original voice actors of the gang here too, plus Jonny Bravo. And even though this show gets a lot of hate, I personally enjoy it for what it is. Moving on to our number 1, and perhaps the most well-known crossover, Scooby Natural. For those who somehow don't know about this legendary show and crossover, Supernatural is an American TV series created by Eric Kirkpike, and it was first broadcast on the WB in 2005. With 15 seasons and a huge cult following, this series follows two brothers, Dean and Sam, as they go around the country investigating paranormal activities. And they pick fights with demons, ghosts, and monsters. So it's like if the gang were mature and dealt with real monsters all the time. This TV series is an action-packed, horror-themed adventure with Dean and Sam learning all about every demon, monster, and ghost imaginable and facing all of them. It's wild. For over 10 years, the showrunners wanted to make a Scooby-Doo crossover happen because of how similar these shows are. But there were so many different things they had to do, like make this a mature and adult version of Scooby-Doo, but still have it be a cartoon. And after finally getting the green light from Warner Brothers, in season 13 of Supernatural, we got Scooby-Natural, an episode where Dean and Sam get sent to a classic episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? But things aren't as they seem, as people are actually dying from a spirit that was sent in with them. Our episode begins with Dean beating the absolute crap out of this demon-possessed dinosaur in a pawn shop, and they light it on fire with holy water. You might be asking, hey, this isn't a cartoon. Well, it will be. Keep watching. Anyway, the pawn shop owner thanks them for defeating it and lets them pick whatever they want from the pawn shop, so they pick a TV. And upon leaving, some real estate guy that owns all the shops in town walks in to talk business with the owner, and he looks really suspicious. But who cares? They just got a new TV, and Dean sets everything up in their man cave while Sam researches haunted objects because that's what he thinks was in that dinosaur. Anyways, Dean turns on the TV just for him and Sam to be sent into the TV to a different universe. An animated one. I wonder where they are, and that's what they're saying, and their car spawned in with them somehow. So they take it to the nearest place, a malt shop, and Dean and Sam see something crazy.
We're not just in any cartoon. We're in Scooby-Doo.
After realizing that they're in the classic Scooby-Doo, they head into the mall shop and argue about walking up to the gang because they really don't know what's happening. But Dean shuts Sam up and they go awkwardly talk to the gang to learn about the mystery of the episode. Velma tells them that they're celebrating Scooby being named as an heir to an old colonel that Scooby saved from drowning in a fish pond several years before. And they show Dean and Sam the newspaper.
There are no words in this newspaper, Dean. We should be trying to get out of here, and instead you're hanging out with Marmaduke.
How dare you?
When Sam asks how he died, Dean pulls him aside to stop being so serious and to play along because this might be the only way to get out of this cartoon. So they tell the gang that they're also mystery solvers, and so the gang invites their new investigator pals to race to a spooky mansion that's not on an island this time, and on their way we see a spooky someone trying to catch up with them. Upon arriving to the mansion, Dean realizes that the episode that they are in is A Night of Fright is No Delay from season 1 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? And with this new knowledge, they know exactly how to play through this episode because Dean has seen it a million times. And once they get inside, it's basically the original episode reanimated with a few inconsistencies. After introducing the heirs, Dean tells Sam a bit about the episode.
Turns out he's the bad guy.
You don't say.
So now they're both ready to face the episode because it's time to turn in, and Dean tries to go sleep with Daphne, but silly Dean, boys and girls don't sleep together. It's 1969. So the brothers bunk with Shaggy and Fred. This episode really expands more of this Scooby-Doo episode because we all know the original, and adding different scenes of what the cousins are doing in their rooms and what the girls are doing in their rooms and other stuff like that really shows what could have been happening back in the original episode. That night, you guessed it, a glowing green ghost flies through the halls of the mansion, causing the lights to flicker as he goes into Cousin Simple's room, and it chills the room, and we get to see the new gruesome design of the Phantom, and he kills Cousin Simple as the gang meet up to find his corpse lying on the bed with a knife in him and blood all over. Dean says that the dummy bodies show up later, and Sam tells him this isn't a dummy, which in turn lets them know that the supernatural elements of their world have crossed over into Scooby-Doo.
Son of a...
Yeah, this episode got dark fast, but the gang just goes split up and look for clues like nothing even happened. And the brothers start talking about what's happening as there was no actual murder in this kid's cartoon, which means they could also die. But Dean cares more about Scooby-Doo, so they go catch up with the gang. They all meet up in a different room of this very different looking mansion, with Velma trying to come up with a rational explanation of what's happening, when a black hooded figure runs to the glass windows and he tries to open one as Fred captures the figure as Castiel. Castiel, another main character in Supernatural, and the brothers tell the gang that he's with them, but they wonder how he even got here, as we cut back to live action with Castiel coming back to the bunker after an important task involving the Tree of Life and whatnot. Anyways, he sees Dean and Sam in the TV, all animated and such, and he gets sucked in too, so he followed them, and that's how he got there. Plus, he mentioned purple sparks, which reminds the brothers of what came out of that dinosaur when they killed it. Just then, the gang hear another scream, so they run into a room, but on their way, they get attacked by the Phantom that can go through walls, but still can interact with stuff, and Fred tries and fails to fight back. After it leaves, they head to the bedroom that it was in, and find Cosgood creeps inside, even though he supposedly left earlier. And he's been decapitated and dismembered, with half his body hanging from the ceiling and his head in terror facing the gang.
That's not good.
I guess you weren't expecting that. I sure wasn't. The brothers realize that the lights start flickering and it becomes cold when the ghost is around, which is a big sign that this is one of their ghosts. And it proves that this cartoon is truly haunted. And now the gang actually split up, with Dean going with Daphne and Fred, Sam with Velma, and Castiel with, well...
Wonderful. I once led armies and now I'm paired with a scruffy Philistine and a talking dog.
When Velma and Sam search the attic, they find a bunch of kids' toys that aren't covered in dust, and ectoplasma, very ghost-like stuff, but Velma still doesn't believe that any of this is real. Dean once again keeps flirting with Daphne, and he finds a book on the shelf that's colored differently from the background, which I always love this scene, because yes, back in the old day, animators colored in objects from the backgrounds that would have to move, and he tells them that it'll do something, and it does. The three go down huge twisty slides to a dark room with Dean thinking he's holding Daphne, but it's the ghost! And they all run away back to Castiel and the boys, as they're walking down a hall when Shaggy notices it's getting very cold, and it turns out they're being followed by the ghost. And here comes our chase!
Never seen a ghost wear such a ridiculous costume.
Everyone meets up and they all run around the mansion with the ghost chasing them for the door gag, and the Scooby Gang quickly nail one of the doors shut, and Dean can't help but watch. With our chase over, the gang hide and figure out how to catch this thing, as the ghost breaks into the room, and now he's not messing around, as Fred gets thrown to the side of the room and Daphne and Velma get pinned to the wall, so the brothers quickly use metal to stab the ghost to make him leave. Fred and the girls are all messed up with bloody noses and other injuries, which they've never seen happen to them. But where's Shaggy? He's holding on outside about to fall, as Scooby quickly helps them, but they both fall, so Castiel saves them, but not fully, because when the rest of the group head outside, it turns out Shaggy broke his arm, and he's so mad about it. So now with everyone messed up, the brothers and Castiel have to tell them the truth, which breaks them.
We've been stopping real estate developers when we could have been hunting Dracula? Are you kidding me? My life is meaningless.
But Dean reassures them, telling them that they're heroes, and giving them a huge pep talk about all the villains that they've stopped.
All right, knock it off. Come on. Scooby Gang does not have nervous breakdowns. And what about the Black Knight? Huh? Mamba Wamba? The Space Kook? I knew it! You love this show too.
And so, all hyped up, they head over to the brothers' car, where all their ghost hunting gadgets are, like a shotgun.
Sam, are you crazy? They can't use this stuff. That's a Scooby-Doo.
So the gang prepare a trap to capture a real ghost, with salt all over and a pretty similar type trap to the original Night of Fright is No Delay. Long story short, the trap doesn't work, but luckily they have a plan B, which is them leading the Phantom to that trap door from before, and it actually works, so the brothers quickly go down because they made a salt circle where the landing spot is, so the ghost can't escape, and it's time for an unmasking. So the ghost reveals itself as just being a kid who has been manipulated by a cursed object, and he just wanted to be set free, but the bad man made him do all this. And the gang see none of this, so the brothers make a deal with this kid that if he could send them back, they'll set him free, but they need one more favor. So with the ghost kid and Castiel's help, they have a proper unmasking, as Cosgood Crease being the villain, which the gang are confused about, but I guess it's just whatever.
Oh well, easy come, easy go.
But this episode isn't over as we return to live action where the brothers figure out that guy from the pawn shop, Jay, was the bad man that the kid was talking about. And after finding the cursed object and destroying it, they go find Jay and realize he's a really bad man in the spirit realm and in real life.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. Ooh, he said it. He said the line. Scooby-Doo.
And that's Supernatural's Scooby-Natural. And it's so good. Even though all the kills and stuff like that in the cartoon gets fixed and basically none of it ever happened in the first place, it's still a great ending for what it is. As a side note, the actors of Supernatural actually had a super fun time voice acting and making this, and they really enjoyed the company of the voice actors of Scooby-Doo. And overall, it was super fun to watch the behind the scenes for this as well.
Crossover with every animated show, and that's sort of like it's a multi-pronged attack on our part every week, and then a week and a half later it was us, like Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Natural is the definition of what if Scooby had real death and murder and other adult stuff in its cartoon, and it's done really well. It's a great mix of having the cartoon slowly break down as the episode progresses, and I hope I explained it well as this is almost an hour-long crossover, and everyone really knows about this one. There's so much marketing that happened during this time when it came out, which really made this one stick in the Supernatural fan base, and overall, it's a spooky, horror-esque, well, supernatural time. And that's my ranking of every Scooby-Doo crossover in a different cartoon. And just to get more mid-roll ads in this video, from the top, we got What Now, Lowbrow from Dynomutt Dog Wonder, The Wizard of Ooze from Dynomutt Dog Wonder, Cartoon Feud from Teen Titans Go, Batmite Presents Batman's Strangest Cases from Batman the Brave and the Bold, Everyone Hide from Dynomutt Dog Wonder, Shaggy Busted from Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law, Bravo Dooby Doo from Jonny Bravo, and at number 1, Scooby-Natural from Supernatural. And that's it. What do you think about this ranking? Consider subscribing to join this cartoon community, and what other series of Scooby-Doo do you want me to rank? Or what other Scooby-Doo things in general? I don't even know what to rank next, so comment down below. And that's all for today. See ya!